When I was in the 6th grade, our family drove by car from our house in Roseville, Minnesota. When we left that morning, it was probably at least 10 below zero, and there was at least 3 feet of snow piled up along the driveway. Very first night, we made it all the way to Liberal, Kansas, stayed in a little motel on Highway 54, and I still remember to this day, as we were driving out of the state of Kansas into Oklahoma, there was a sign, and my mother snapped a picture of it that said, "Leaving Kansas, come again soon." Little did I know that I would be back in Kansas approximately 6 years later to spend the rest of my life. But it was just a great adventure. We were gone about 3 weeks and traveled all throughout the West. I got to see places like the Hoover Dam and Disneyland for the first time, Knott's Berry Farm. But probably the most exciting thing of all was standing on the edge of the Grand Canyon. And pictures just don't do that justice. I'm still in awe of this to this day, how spectacular that was. But it was a great trip.
Tell me what your summers looked like as a kid.
Oh gosh, adventure, I think would sum it up. But get this, we didn't watch a lot of TV as kids, and we would typically play from dawn to dusk. If it wasn't raining, we were outside, and the fun would even continue well into the evening. I was really thinking about this recently. We would go to Snyder's drugstore on our bikes. We could buy Snickers, Milky Way, Baby Ruth, any full-size candy bar was a nickel. Now this is in the 60s. Well, the deal was you could actually get 6 candy bars for a quarter. So we would go to Snyder's, we'd load up on 6 candy bars, which was enough to keep us up all night, which was usually camping out in someone's backyard, where we could get into all sorts of mischief. We'd sneak out and go swimming in somebody's pool. We'd go to the drive-in theater and sit in the weeds behind the theater and watch movies. You know, you get pretty wired on 6 candy bars, so that kept us up pretty much all night. But what fun. And our parents didn't worry about where we were. Dawn to dusk, as long as we got home eventually or for dinner or something, they were okay with that.
What were your grandparents like?
They were so loving, they were so stable, but so different. First of all, on my dad's side of the family, those grandparents were very businesslike. They grew up in German farming communities. Not a lot of emotion, not a lot of hugging or kissing, but all their love centered around food. So every Sunday morning, it was off to the Eichtens, and my grandma Eichten was an incredible cook. So whether it was putting pancakes on the table, her famous homemade cinnamon rolls, or it was apple pie for dessert later in the day. We just had a great time growing up with them. They were pretty serious. I knew that they loved us. Now, on the other side of the house, there were a lot of emotions and spark, because my Italian grandfather, his bride was Irish. So that was very animated, it was very loving. You didn't walk into the house without getting hugs and kisses. And every Sunday evening, it was spaghetti and meatballs for dinner, and a big crowd of people. I couldn't have loved my grandparents more, and feel so fortunate because they both lived within 5 miles of our home, so I got to see them every Sunday. Nancy would probably answer this differently than I would, because she always said it was kind of love at first sight, and that she decided very early on while we were dating. I think I was more guarded than that. I knew she was someone special the first time we were alone together. That was when, you know, I rescued her from a party. As I really think about this, because my parents didn't stick it out, because I came from a broken home, I was going to be so careful. I wanted to make sure this was the right person, and it just kept kept proving it over and over again. The longer we dated, the more comfortable I became. And I proposed probably after we had dated about a year, maybe just a little over a year. By then I just knew. Now, don't ask me how I knew, okay?
What are you most proud of when you look back on your life?
I'm most proud of the fact that I've been able to stay in the same relationship from start to finish. I'm so proud of the fact that I was able to provide for our family, not just financially, but emotionally, that I could be there for the kids and that we could spend so much time together. And now that's continuing with the grandkids, the 5 we have. I hope that gets to continue for many years yet with the grandchildren that haven't arrived yet. I would love to enjoy being a great-grandfather at some point in time, if God is so gracious.
What do you hope people remember most about you?
That I was loving, that I was a kind and gentle soul. I'm sure they'll remember that I love to tell stories. And I'm quite a talker, and that's okay. I'm pretty proud of that. But I think most of all, I hope that they remember me as somebody that had a big heart, that really cared about other people.
What message would you like to leave for your family and future generations?
Oh gosh, starting with my children, the message that I would leave for all 3, Kate, Chris, and Anna, is they meant everything to me from the time they were born. I enjoyed all 3 of my children immensely, and I couldn't get enough time with all 3 of them. Then they became chopped liver when the grandkids came along. But I think what they need to understand, which I hope they do, is that the way I treated and welcomed the grandchildren into the world was the same way that I welcomed all 3 of them, because they were everything to me.
Yes, he wrote, the Holy Spirit sent them to me and touched without preaching. I can see a troubled soul knows why they came, led to salvation, no longer the same. He was touched by the Spirit, set free on that day. A soul once so lost finds a way. Touched by the Spirit, set free on that day. A soul once so lost has found its way.